With the January transfer window now over, which players made the best moves? Which European clubs made the best signings? Well, today I'm taking a look at my top 10 transfers from across Europe. Coming in at number 10, it is Sami Khedira. Now, he allegedly did snub Arsenal for a move to Hertha Berlin, and I was a little bit surprised at this as he did seem to be a long-term target for the Toffees. Of course, Khedira and Carlo Ancelotti worked together at Real Madrid, where they won the likes of the Champions League, the Copa del Rey, amongst other trophies, so I did expect a reunion between the pair, but it didn't happen. Everton didn't come through with the deal, and it was Hertha Berlin that were ready with a pen and paper for Khedira to sign on the dotted line on a 2.5-year deal. Now, this is not a massive move for Khedira to a massive club, and I was a little bit surprised, which is why he does come in at number 10. A great player, but not the move I was imagining. Now, no disrespect to Hertha Berlin, but he was playing, of course, at Juventus. But clearly, he's just not at that level anymore, which is why he's had to take this step down to Hertha Berlin. And they are struggling in the Bundesliga. They're currently in a relegation battle. They're at 15th at the point of recording. So bringing Khedira in will be a massive, massive boost for them. And for Khedira, it will be a great move because at the end of the day, he's going to be welcomed into a new club and he's going to get some game time. Khedira has struggled with injuries. He's 34 this year. He's clearly, as I said before, not at that same level to play for Juventus anymore, as he's not really featured for the club for such a long time now. So here's hoping that this move back to Germany will be everything that he needs it to be. He'll get some match fitness, some game time. He's going to be able to help the club out, and hopefully this will prove that he's still a talented footballer. At number 9, it's Geoffrey Kondogbia, a brilliant move for the player. He's 27, he has been at Valencia for a couple of seasons now, and let's face it, he needed to get out of that club fast. So the fact that he's managed to make a move, he's wanted to move since the summer, but the fact that he's finally managed to get a move and to Atletico Madrid is brilliant for him. As we all know, things at Valencia are not great, and this is another big loss for the club, as one by one they're seemingly selling off their greatest players. Their drastic selling policy, it's not popular with the fans, it's not popular with the current manager, but owner Peter Lim has come out and said that they need to reduce the cost of the first team, and he's mentioned words like bankruptcy, etc. So this just shows that they're probably not going to be bringing in a replacement anytime soon. It is sad to see what has happened to Valencia, but as I said, a great move for Kondogbia. Since the departure of Thomas Partey at Atletico Madrid, they're clearly looking for somebody to fill in that area of the pitch, and who knows, maybe he could be the man for the job. Kondogbia has great physical presence and power, and he's an all-round really good central midfielder who can also play defensively. Of course, looking back at the 2018-19 season with Valencia, he was such a vital cog in the machine during that season when they actually ended up finishing 4th, as he was playing in midfield alongside their former captain Dani Parejo. So it will be really interesting to see how he does being back at a club that's not just competing in the top 4 but actually competing for the league. In the 8th spot it is Arkadiusz Milik. Now, nobody likes to see a player fall from grace, and that is seemingly what has happened here. Going from arriving at Napoli in 2016, being such an important player for them, helping them to that Coppa Italia title, scoring so many goals for the club, to now he refused to sign a long-term contract, and he's actually been left out of their Serie A squad and their Champions League squad. However, the 26-year-old has been given a life raft in Marseille, and I'm hoping this is going to reignite his career and form once he has match fitness. For Marseille, things haven't been great so far this season, and if they want to climb back up that table towards the top, competing for the league, bringing somebody in like Milik is a really good move, as he will certainly bolster their attack. He's got so much creativity and such a powerful shot, he's bound to create some chances for them. So here's hoping that it's a good loan move for both the player and the club. Next up, number 7, it is Sebastian Haller. Now, when he made the move to West Ham for a club record fee, it's safe to say expectations were pretty high. However, things haven't really gone to plan. He's not been a complete failure. He has scored a few goals along the way, but you can't really blame West Ham for wanting to just cut their losses and try and recoup a little bit of money back for the player. And at the end of the day, one team's flop signing is another team's treasure, and that team is Ajax. Now, they're not normally known for splashing the cash, especially when you look at their impressive youth and academy system, but they have spent €22.5 million on the player, which is the most that any club has paid to bring a player into the Eredivisie. You'd initially think, what are Ajax playing at? This is a huge risk, but the 26-year-old has played under the current manager Erik ten Hag before previously in his career, and it was at this period where he managed to score 51 goals in 98 games. So if there's been success in their partnership before, who's to say it won't happen again? Ajax are suffering with quite a few injuries at the moment, so it makes sense to bring a new player in, and Haller has already proven his worth and proven exactly why Ajax have spent all that money on him, as at the point of filming he has already managed 2 goals and 4 assists. Absolutely brilliant. In at number 6, I've gone for Dominik Szoboszlai. Now, this seems like it happened ages ago because it was announced back in 2020, but it's still a winter transfer, so we're going to go with this one. Now, there was so much speculation as to where he would actually end up, but looking at the relationship between Red Bull Leipzig and Red Bull Salzburg, there was only one place that he was going, really. The player has attracted so much attention, and at just 20 years of age, if you've watched him play, you will know exactly why he's being named one of the next biggest talents to come out of European football. I think that this move is perfect for him. The fact that the two clubs are kind of similar in some ways means that I'm sure he will probably settle in a lot easier, and this is just a great opportunity for him to be competing at a bigger level, competing for the biggest competitions, and I can't wait to see what he does. As we come to the halfway point in this video, do not forget, if you are not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, turn the notifications on so you will know exactly when OneFootball drop a new video. At the halfway point, number 5, it is Mario Mandzukic. Now, it is no secret that he has been on the hunt for a new club since 2020, since he ended his contract in Qatar. And finally, after so much speculation, so many teams in the mix, he finally has a team in AC Milan. There's no denying that his CV is impressive with time at Atletico Madrid, Juventus, Bayern Munich, and although he is 34, he's not completely over the hill yet and can surely provide AC Milan with some talent on the pitch. For a lot of players, age is just a number, and if you don't believe me, ask his new teammate Zlatan Ibrahimovic at 39 years of age. Now, considering they have what you would already describe as an ageing but talented goalscorer in Zlatan, I expected them to go for a younger signing, but at the end of the day, if AC Milan want to stay at the top of Serie A competing for that trophy, they need squad depth and fast, and Mario Mandzukic can provide them with this. At the end of the day, looking at his credentials, he is a solid signing and he's a free transfer, so let's hope he manages to get them some goals. In the 4th spot, it is Papu Gomez. Yes, the 32-year-old finally has a new club. Of course, he was with Serie A side Atalanta, where he managed over 250 appearances, almost 60 goals and around 71 assists. He was such an amazing player for them, such an amazing captain, as he led that side to so many great results in Serie A and of course that quarter-final place in the Champions League last season. However, sadly the player had a falling out with his coach, Gianpiero Gasperini, who came out saying that in a Champions League game, Gomez didn't really adapt to the changes that he wanted him to make, and before you knew it, he's been dropped and he's not actually featured since December 16th. It was very clear that the pair did not get on, and if Gomez wanted to be playing football, he had to find a new club, and he's gone with Sevilla. He's going to be at the club until 2024 according to contracts, and this is just such a brilliant signing for him. He's basically gone from an Italian team that really shook up the league and competed and turned things on the head a little bit to a Spanish team in Sevilla that are essentially doing the same thing in La Liga. In my opinion, he was such a workhorse for Atalanta. I think he was underappreciated and he needs a little bit more respect, so I am really excited to see what he will bring to Sevilla. In 3rd position, it's Mesut Ozil. Now, I am sure that people will be rejoicing at Arsenal that they finally managed to get rid of Ozil and get him off the books. And I'm sure Ozil fans will also be rejoicing that he has a new club. Things went downhill pretty fast for Ozil at Arsenal, and to be honest, as an outsider looking in, it was really sad to see what happened to him at the club, as he clearly did have a lot of love for Arsenal. But at the end of the day, everyone has been waiting for him to get a new club, for some respect to be put back on the player's name, and the move to Fenerbahce is absolutely perfect for him. The club themselves have actually managed to do pretty well. He was of course on around €400,000 a week at Arsenal, and Fenerbahce have managed to get it down to $75,000 a week, plus it's a free transfer. At the end of the day, he is 32, he does need to get a little bit of match fitness, but once he's back to being at his best, I'm really excited to see what he brings to Fenerbahce, another club that he clearly has a lot of love for. And let's hope for his sake he manages to prove Arsenal wrong and that maybe they made a mistake and that he is still a talented footballer. Coming in at number 2, it is Moussa Dembele. Now, when I saw this transfer on paper, it was a little bit of a weird one because you would initially think, why are Lyon loaning out a player that over the last 2 seasons has managed to score over 40 goals for them? But looking at this season, he currently only has 1 goal to his name, so there's clearly an issue with his form. The move to Atletico means that Dembele could return to Lyon completely refreshed, having refound his form, or it could actually go in the opposite direction for Lyon and he might get a taste for La Liga life and want to make the move permanent. The thing is, for Atletico, they need a striker. They're currently just really depending on a 34-year-old Luis Suarez. No disrespect to Suarez at all, he's been brilliant, but they did need some reinforcements, and out of all the strikers available for loan or for permanent signings, etc., I do think that Dembele is a really good option. He's only 24. Although he's so young, he already has quite a good bank of experience, which will really work in his favour, and he's got so much time to re-find his form and get back to being the player that we all know and love. And the fact that there is an option to buy at the end of the season for €33.5 million isn't really a bad price. This seems like a real win-win situation. For Atletico Madrid, they get a striker that they know can provide them with some great goals once he's at his best, and they could buy him at the end of the season. For Dembele, he is moving to a really great side that are at the top of La Liga, competing for the biggest trophies, but they actually have the space in their squad, especially with the departure of Diego Costa, to provide him with some much needed game time, the opportunity to score some goals and kind of re-find his form. At the end of the day, we all know what Dembele can do. It's a bit of a low risk signing for Atletico Madrid, so here's hoping that it is a success. Now, before we get to number one, if you guys are wondering what about all of the transfers in the Premier League, Matt has made a video on this and you can check it out somewhere above my head right now. And finally, at number one, it is Martin Odegaard. I am so excited to see what he could potentially bring to the Premier League. Of course, he's a Real Madrid player. He has been at the club since he was 16 years of age. He's now 22, and to be honest, we've not seen much of him. He has had a few successful loan spells. The last one was at Real Sociedad. Now, he was supposed to be there for 2 years, but after the first year, Zidane ended up bringing him back with the promise of first-team football. Did this happen? No, not really, it didn't, to be honest. And I can't really blame Odegaard because he's put his foot down. He's said to Real Madrid that he needs a loan so that he can get some game time, and that loan move is to Arsenal. Now, a lot of Real Madrid fans are a bit angry about this, to be honest, because a lot of people are saying that he should have stayed and fought for his place, but at the end of the day, it's kind of understandable that he's a young player that wants game time, and let's hope that he gets that at Arsenal. Regarding a move to Arsenal, I think this is a really good move for the player and the club. At the end of the day, Arsenal have been searching for a young, creative, energetic replacement for Mesut Ozil in that number 10 role for quite a while, and it does remain to be seen if Odegaard can provide that, but there's a really good chance that he could. Of course, the Gunners didn't manage to get their first choice midfielder from Lyon in Houssem Aouar, and yes, he does have a lot more experience, but Odegaard is still a smart move and he won't really cost that much either. So those are my top 10 transfers from across Europe, but what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below. As always, check out all the other content that we have got here at OneFootball, and until next time, I will see you all later.